JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 5th of November 2020. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So now then, jumping into the charts. Now, the first one I want to pick up here is on German DAX. As you can see, we are having a nice move here to the upside. Now, initially this morning, what I was saying that if we get a push higher, but if the index finds good resistance somewhere near this whole area around this highlighted zone, which is around the 12,341 territory, or this 200-day EMA, then yes, we could see a bit of a correction back down. However, if it pops above this 200-day EMA, then which it did, then my next target is this 61.8% retracement on the Fibonacci. So basically this worked out nicely. We got a hold up here. We got a hold up near this low, the low of the 2nd of October, around the 12,540 mark. So it got a hold up here and is now kind of retracing back down. So basically for now, it did have already a steep good rally. However, this will be very interesting to see if we actually can get a nice V-shaped rally here, V-shaped recovery. So of course a bit of speculation. First of all, let me get rid of this this downside line, but to be honest, actually I'm going to reuse it, and also let me get rid of this Fibonacci here, so in order to get it out of the way here. Now what I'm going to be focusing here on will be this downside line taken from the high of the 3rd of September. Now previously I talked also about this nice rising channel pattern, but I'll get rid of it as well because it got violated. So let's not focus on it right now. Let's focus on this downside line taken from the high of the 3rd of September. If this downside line provides good resistance, then yes, we could see another slide here. So basically what I'm referring to here is that there could be a potential further move north here, guys. So especially if the daily candle remains above this 12,540 zone right here, which is the low of that 2nd of October, and then of course, yes, higher levels here could be met, but only up until this downside line. And if this downside line gets broken, now this is of course where more buyers could join in, but let's get to that point first. Now let's see how this is going to play out. But again, for now, guys, all eyes are going to be on this barrier right here, this 12,540. If we get a nice daily close above it, then yes, a further move higher could be possible, because at the same time the index would be placed above all of its EMAs here on the daily chart. So maybe some of the buyers could see this as a good opportunity to step in. In terms of the downside, well, I mean, looking at this picture now, probably I'm going to adjust a few levels. First of all, I'm going to keep an eye on this little area right here, this 11,852 mark, which, as you can see, acted as a good area of resistance and also a good area of support. So if you want to look at some lower levels, well, probably wait for a drop below this area. So I do understand that maybe we could be missing out on a bit of an area here, but to be honest, it could drift lower, and this correction, this move lower could be seen as a little correction within a bigger within this correction to the upside, basically. So if that makes sense, guys. So that's why I would prefer to maybe see a nice drop below this 11,852 territory first before considering further declines. Now jumping into NASDAQ 100, and look at this beautiful move here yesterday. So we popped higher, we moved above this 11,467 territory, and the index ended the day near this hurdle right here, the high of the 20th of October, which is around the 11,800 mark. So it did overshoot it by just a few points. However, as you can see, the index still closed below this area, below this hurdle at 11,801 zone. So if we get a nice good push, and actually let me just double check quickly the cash index and where we are currently trading at, because we did have a bit of increased volatility recently, just because there were some news coming out saying that Trump will again he will go against no wait, what was the news? Let me just quickly that he's not really satisfied with the Nevada results, and that's why he's gonna go to court for that one. Of course, this is not new news, but in terms of Nevada, that's a bit of new news. So yeah, let's see how that's gonna come out. Of course, the market, looking at the cash index right now, the cash index on of NASDAQ 100 is currently sitting at around 12,040 mark. So basically, it's back above that psychological 12,000 zone, and it's somewhere around here. So basically, we'll have a nice another gap here to the upside, and here how we could look at this is these runaway gaps here. So basically, this way increasing chances for a possible test of this level right here, the highest point of October, which is around the 12,205 mark. So that's going to be my next target, especially if the index remains above that psychological 12,000 mark. And then yes, like I said, I'll basically it looks a little bit weird here, but nevertheless it's the idea that I'm going to stick to right now. So basically we'll have a nice opening gap here to the upside. If it drifts further south again but remains above that 12,000 territory, now this is where it could rebound and move towards this highest point of October near the 12,205 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. In terms of the downside, well, at least a drop below the 11,801 zone maybe could do the trick for more sellers. However, given that there is a bit of a problem right now, if I can say, with the downside, so I'll probably take it from here, because if we do see a drop back below the 11,801 zone, then I'll start maybe considering a possible move lower. Now what I'll consider as well is this little short-term upside line here, taken from the low of the 21st of September, and then yes, lower levels here could be met. I mean, we could, if we see a drop below the 11,800 zone, then yes, I'll consider a possible move towards this 11,467 territory or this upside support line. So let's keep an eye on that one. Now the main kind of instrument or asset that took a hit on the news is the US dollar, and basically look at this beautiful move here. It drifted below this 93.12 zone. I talked about this, and but in this situation here, of course, given the difficult circumstances that we're actually going through right now in the market, be very careful. I mean, yes, we did see a drop below the 93.12 territory here. It drifted lower. It tested one of my levels here, the 92.47 mark, and didn't really quite reach this 92.24 level that I've got highlighted here, but it definitely reached this lowest point of October near the 92.47. We'll take that. It's a good result. However, However, again, given the situation, wait for this one to wait for the daily candle to kind of end here, and then let's see where this daily candle is going to end, because if it stays below this 93.12 zone, it increases the chances for a further move lower. Of course, don't get me wrong, anything can happen. I mean, we could see some false breakouts again, so but that's just the nature of the current economic environment, the current political environment as well. So be very careful, guys. Have your stop losses in place, and the little probably suggestion, if you are jumping into something, maybe because of, like I said, because of the times right now, try to take smaller profits, and or unless you have a trailing stop, then maybe if that works for you as well. So yeah, that could do as too. But yeah, if you're don't try to be too greedy. If you manage to squeeze something out of this out of the market in these difficult times right now, then yes, it's a great result. Doesn't matter the amount. Look at everything from a percentage perspective. Gold. Gold is pushing nicely, of course. Dollar dropping, gold pushing higher, pushing above this 19,000. Sorry, 1,911. There we go. Finally managed to get this one out. 1,911 zone. It managed to climb above it, but as you can see, it's finding with resistance near this highest point of October, near the 1933 mark. So of course that's going to be quite interesting. See if we can see a further move north. For now, basically the idea that I talked about in my videos, it's working out nicely. We had a nice push here above this 1911 territory. That's great. So now the big question, can it actually push further north, and can it actually climb above this 1933 territory? Now if it can, then well, good for you if you're still in the trade here. But if you're not, if you missed this one out, then probably wait for this daily candle to end, and let's see how and where it's going to end up being. If it stays above this, then we'll see if we can get a little retracement tomorrow. If it stays above this 1933 territory today, then like I said, if we can, maybe we'll see a bit of a correction to the downside tomorrow, and then if it struggles to move further south, then this is where it could turn around again and move higher. But like, I'll pick up on this one tomorrow morning in my Trader's Espresso, and we'll have a look at this one again. But at the moment, everything's looking quite interesting here for the buyers. Bitcoin, now look at the beautiful move here. Bitcoin is popping higher, and it's reaching my target that I talked about this week. Now it did initially drop lower here, this to this 13,174 territory, which provided good support, and is now pushing higher, and is now testing this 15,000 mark, which, by the way, is, let me just zoom in here a little bit, which is the high of the 11th of January of 2018, guys. So that's where we are right now. If you remember this period here back in December 2017, then January 2018, well, we're basically almost back at the same levels. I mean, now what you could do, what you could start looking at here is this one right here, the not this one right here, but let me just carefully capture this one. I need to zoom in here a little bit. There we go. I'm basically trying to capture this highest point of 2018, guys. There we go. So that's around 17,252 mark. So roughly around here, approximately around here, guys. You might have maybe a little bit different pricing if you're using something else, but nevertheless, that's the target, the highest point of 2018. That could be our next target, but of course, if this stalls here near this 15,000 mark, if it struggles to overcome it, now this is where I'm going to consider maybe a bit of a correction here back down. I've shifted one of the levels here. Let me just get it back here. There we go. So I'm gonna consider maybe a possible correction if the 15,000 mark continues to provide good resistance, because then we could see the crypto correcting lower. Basically right now it's on a steep, even not this one right here, even I have to draw it from somewhere here. It's trading above this steep tentative upside line. So in a way, for now, the idea that I'm going to stick to is something like this. So it may drift lower here, test this upside line, and then push to the upside again. So let's see how this is going to play out, but all eyes right now are on the 15,000 mark. If the crypto continues to push above it, then of course we'll start looking at some higher levels. Of course, that 16,000 level looks attractive, but we'll take it from there. For now, it is how it is. The 15,000 mark continues to provide resistance. USDJPY now jumping here, and of course, dollar index is drifting lower. Now, of course, also you can see that the pair continues to trade below this downside line taken from the high of the 24th of March. But the more important thing here is that the pair is breaking, or should I say, it broke already this lowest point of September near the 104 mark. So let's see now if we can have if we can see a nice this daily candle remaining below this area, below this 104 zone. If it does, then well, I mean, this of course, because it already confirmed the forthcoming lower low, and if now the daily candle will remain below this 104 territory, it increases the chances for a further move lower. And basically I'm going to stick to this idea here that I've talked about, where I've showed you that if it drops below this 104 zone, then my next target is the 103.05 level marked by the low of the 12th of March, and then I'll take it from there. Then we'll see, we'll have to reevaluate everything again, but for now that's my target if the daily candle remains below the 104 zone. USDCAD quickly here, finally dropping below this 1.31 territory. I talked about this as well in my recent videos when I was covering USDCAD, and basically what I was saying, that if we get a nice drop below the 1.31 zone, then my next target is the lowest point of September here near the 1.2995 level. For now, the pair is trading here below this, but as I said to you guys when I was covering DXY, wait probably, because we already kind of had the move, and let's keep an eye on the headlines as well, because US session has started. So let's see if we do get any more news. And by the way, in terms of news, we do have the FOMC statement today. So we have the Fed interest rate decision. So well, expect a lot of volatility today. So probably if you're not feeling comfortable in your feeling that this might not work out, then don't. Just stay this one out. I mean, there's always tomorrow, and you have to be very careful. But if you are jumping into the market, then definitely have your stop loss in place. But expect that there could be a possibility of maybe your stops getting triggered a little bit earlier, unless you have a huge one. But again, it depends basically. So anyway, guys, look at this one for now. Of course, from the technical side, yes, everything's looking quite bearish, but of course, let's see how this day is the US trading session develops further. If it stays, this daily candle remains below this area, then yep, further declines are possible towards the lowest point of September. Quick update on AUDJPY, still struggling with this downside line. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, but basically the idea remains the same as I've talked previously. This downside line is the one to watch right now. This one's taken from the high of the 31st of August, but if you want to look at some higher levels, then wait for a push above the 75.48 territory right here, which is the current highest point of this week, and then yes, we could aim for some higher levels. At the moment, it's stuck here below this downside line, below this 75.48 level. So let's see how this is going to play out. But in terms of the downside, my preference is from around the 74 mark only. GBPCHF, now something that we kind of forget to look at sometimes, to be honest, and I do forget to look at this one sometimes. So yeah, my fault on that one. But basically, it's an interesting one right now. Of course, it's as you can see, it's very choppy. Still, the same game plan remains. I need to see a nice, good, strong move above this 1.1911 territory in order to get a little bit more excited with the upside. Now, you might debate this one and say that, well, yesterday we had a nice strong move higher, but yes, that's wonderful. We had a nice pop above it. If you went long on this one, great. But in this situation, this is when I'm saying, guys, always have your stop loss in place. And let's say once you're in profit, quickly shift your, let's say in decent, or let's say 10, 15, 20 pips in profit, probably shift your a stop loss on break even, just in case this suddenly reverses like it did yesterday and takes you out even more, basically, because as you can see, it drifted even below the low of the previous day. So this is one of those annoying situations where, well, we sometimes get caught out, but that's why you need to very quickly put your stop loss on break even once you're in profit, and then protect yourself this way. You might not take anything from that day, but at least you're not going to lose anything. So for now, you can see that the pair did drift lower, tested this 1.1799 level, or in the way 1.18 territory. It did found good support here and then rebounded. So basically, it's stuck now in between these two levels, and this is what I need. I need to see a breakthrough either above the 1.1911 territory or a drop below the 1.17 and 1.18 level right here. And finally, Euro USD, of course, popping nicely. Look at this beautiful move, and this is what I talked about this morning, guys. I was saying that I will remain bullish if the rate stays above this 1.1696. It stayed today. It did drift a little bit closer to that area, but reversed back to the upside, and look at this beautiful move here. Of course, don't get me wrong, it took the whole European session to get here, but well, let's face it, this is a very good move. It almost met my target, just by shy by a few pips, but to be honest, we'll take that. That's great result. The 1.1867 territory, that's what I was aiming for. Now, at this point in time, I'll take a neutral stand here a little bit, because what could happen, yes, we could see another push higher, but if it struggles, let's say, to overcome this barrier straight away, this 1.1867 territory, we may see a bit of a correction, maybe back down, and then I'll take it from there, because maybe we'll find support here near this 1.1787, or we could see a nice push higher again here, guys. So okay, so basically, that's it for today, guys. I hope you found it useful. I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. And of course, guys, if you want to join my session tomorrow, my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. But for now, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, be very careful, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. So have a nice evening, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.